Hello, everybody, and welcome to So What You Think?
I'm Karen.
And I'm Jaime. This is our very first episode. We're very excited. We're going to be talking about this new docuseries we just watched called Scamanda. And I had not heard of this. You brought it up.
Yes, so I heard about the podcast when the podcast first came out. A colleague told me, and she has never let me down with like really good recommendations, like book recommendations, TV recommendations, podcast recommendations. Honestly, anything she's ever suggested, I've really enjoyed. So when she said, "Oh my gosh, have you heard about Scamanda?" And
you
I
knew
said,
this was going to be good.
I knew I needed to listen.
What did she... Okay, tell me the whole thing about her telling you about it. What did she say?
Actually, it was just kind of like on the go in the hallway. Like, you know, I'm a teacher, and so she teaches, and we were just kind of walking together. It was probably, I don't know, like a 30-second conversation. But she had said, you know, have you heard about Scamanda? You totally need to listen to this podcast. And I said, no, what is it about? And she said, it's about a woman who faked that she had cancer. And there's a podcast. And that was it. I was like, okay. And honestly, that weekend, I like binge listened to the entire thing. And I don't know, should we like back up and tell people what it's about? Like,
oh yeah, tell us what it's about.
Okay, so basically, like I said, she faked that she had cancer, and she was a young mom who she started a blog to like document her cancer journey and to share with others. And so she was, sharing and uploading pictures and stories and reports about her treatments and things like that. And come to find out, the whole thing was fake. She never actually had cancer. And in the meantime, like people are donating all of this money to her, holding fundraisers, like her whole like church community had rallied around her, you know, all of this like prayer support and donations and financial backing. And like it got to be really, really big. And she was like somewhat of a local celebrity where people were following her journey. And I mean, probably not even just locally. I think it was like nationally.
They kept highlighting Leanne Rimes was on Team Amanda.
Yeah. And so it just got to be really big. And in the meantime, someone had tipped off this investigative reporter that this was possibly a scam. And then, so both the podcast and the like docuseries followed them like investigating this and trying to figure out how to prove that either she had cancer or she didn't. And then...
So when did the podcast itself start to come out?
It came out in the spring of 2023.
And then the show came out...
just this spring. I think it was just in January, February.
Wow.
And it's like a 4-part docuseries that we just binge watched last night.
I know I'm jumping around, but like the fact that even while they had finally gotten the search warrant for her house, she's still keeping it up.
Right.
Still posting stuff
Yes.
about her fake disease.
And she continued even after, they had like already, she was being investigated for wire fraud. Then she still went and scammed a school that she was working at. And like, and all of the people that they interviewed, like her like close friends and family were basically saying, we think when she gets out of jail, like this will continue. Which, I mean, I hope not. I hope she's rehabilitated and has gotten some support and counseling and things like that. But I don't know. My reaction too is like, I both wanted to like shake her and like hug her at the same time. Because like what a horrible thing she did. And all of these people that she scammed money from. But she's obviously not well.
She's not well. I was happy they brought in like an actual psychologist to kind of talk about the disorder she might have, Munchausen. But we didn't hear much from her. I would have liked to hear more like, is rehab possible? Can she overcome this? Is it even possible for her to get treatment in prison? I don't know what prisons are like.
I don't either. Well, and didn't it say at the end that she's been released? Like she's still serving her sentence, but she's in some sort of like halfway house type thing now.
Yeah, that was at the very end, and I was just kind of in shock. I didn't read the whole thing.
But yeah, it sounds like that she's still serving her term, but she's not in like an actual prison anymore. So I wonder if there's some sort of rehabilitation through that. I don't know. I still have so many questions.
So maybe she's getting psych help and counseling.
I'm going to pretend in my mind that she is, because that will make me feel better.
And I'm hoping this allows her to spend time with her kids. I mean, at least her 2 boys.
Yeah.
Are we just like jumping? I
know. We're just jumping all around. It's okay. Okay. Let me just ask you this question.
Yeah.
What moments of the docuseries that we watched last night like made you go like, whoa? Like there were several moments like both of us were like, oh my gosh, or like we would look at each other, or tell me about one of those like big moments for you.
Where was the husband? Like we didn't hear anything about the husband, about his role. I wanted to know, was he working? Did he have a job? Was he support? I
have all of those questions too.
So you didn't get anything answered in the podcast?
No, I mean, I probably need to go back and re-listen actually, but I remember thinking at the end of the podcast, like Corey surely knew. How could he not know?
He must have been in on it.
He must have.
How could he not be?
Either that or he was just so totally checked out, or, maybe they weren't living as maybe they weren't as united in marriage as they were portraying, and they're kind of living independent lives. I don't know. That's the only way I can imagine him not knowing, is if he was just, kind of checked out from the marriage. I don't know. But how could he not know?
How could he not? I mean, what husband doesn't insist on going to at least one appointment with your wife's oncologist?
Right?
Your wife has some terminal illness. Yeah, you're going to go and talk to the doctor and look at options.
100%.
So that tells me he was in on it. He had to have been.
He had to have been.
How could he not be?
How could he not? I mean, the Jessa, like the stepdaughter, was picking up on things that didn't, she found pieces of IV tubing in like her little brother's room. And, if she as a preteen was cued
able
into
to see,
something, how could he as a full blown adult?
So then my thinking was like, okay, so he's obviously in on it, and he's probably in on it for the money. But then it wasn't until towards the end of the show when they revealed to us like exactly how much she had swindled. It's only $100,000.
Yes.
So I'm like, so he was not after money.
Although I think there was probably a lot more money than that. That was just the money that they could trace that was donated on her website.
Not including cash.
Any kind of cash, any kind of gift cards, any kind of just like donation of services or trips or flights or all of that. Like they couldn't trace those.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm sure it was a lot more.
But not enough for him to be like, yeah, let's do this scam together.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a really, really big involved scheme for only $100,000.
It's a lot of work and a lot of stress.
Yes. Can you imagine the stress of like keeping up that lie? And like such a big public lie that you are literally blogging about.
I mean, I don't know anything about this disorder, but that must be part of the satisfaction. Is just the deception, being able to do it. That thrill. It must be a craving.
I don't know. The lengths that she went to, though. Just like the medical pictures and the hospital stuff. And like there were so many pictures of her in hospital beds and like in exam rooms and with IVs and all that kind of stuff that she faked in other ways by going to the hospital for other reasons and
or
staging.
Doing it at home.
Yes, staging photos.
But I really did like that daughter, Jaime. She's got she's just very mature. She's got a good head on her shoulders. Despite like her mom. I did not really care for her mom.
Alita.
I think there's something shady about her, something I don't like or trust about her.
I
There's
liked her
something she's
okay
not saying.
until I saw that she was part of like the video footage. Like she went and she was in like the stakeout van when they were getting video footage of like when they raided.
That was weird. Why was she there?
Why was she there? I mean, I can understand why the investigative reporter, like that's kind of her job to, get the scoop and get the coverage. And
my guess is it was that investigator that told Alita that this was happening that night. But why?
That was my impression. I don't know. I did think that was kind of weird. And then Alita's like texting Jaime, her daughter, about what's happening. And it's like she was getting like fed off of this story too. And I get that she was super hurt. I mean, they took Jessa and got custody and like were spreading lies and stuff about her. Like, so I do get she was really hurt, but
yeah, but she was like nasty, vindictive in that van. Like she was enjoying.
Yes.
Like, that's not justice.
No. Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird. So like then I'm questioning, because they told us in the docuseries that it was the old friend, the blonde lady friend, who was the one that had reached out to the investigative producer.
Which, by the way, they did not reveal that in the podcast. You went through the whole podcast and you didn't know who like the tip was.
Never?
Never. They revealed that only in the docuseries.
And I don't think they would lie, but do you think they lied?
No.
Do you think it was Alita this whole time?
No, I don't. I don't think it was Alita. I think Alita found out, and then she was like, she just had all this fuel for the fire that she already had in her belly because she was mad about the custody. She was mad about them dragging her name through the mud, and like rightfully so. Mm-hmm. But I think this was like, yes, now I have a chance to like get, some revenge. Like I'm going to take her down. That's my take.
Yeah. And then it seemed like, and maybe somebody else said this, and this might be my own take on her behavior, but the producer, the investigator, she also seemed really on fire. And like, I think somebody even mentioned like this was like a personal.
Yes. Like she was passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, maybe the two of them, they were just so they're just craving the truth that they just ganged up.
I also imagine, okay, like, when you're working on a problem or solving a puzzle, or I imagine this happens in the coding world, or, when you're like really trying to crack something or solve something and you just get so involved and into it, it becomes like bigger and bigger, an obsession.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this was probably that for them. Like they're working on this. And even when they showed the detective, and he was like, he was all about it too, because like he saw a pathway to solving this. I imagine there was some of that fueled them as well.
No, you're right. You're right. But still, going back to your first point, I don't think Alita should have been there at the raid.
I don't either.
That was not appropriate.
It was not appropriate. And I think that was a bad call on the investigative reporters.
It was a weird call. I mean, I guess it's not weird to tell somebody that this is happening, but then for them to just videotape it all and then to include in this docuseries, that seemed a little too much. But maybe they just needed something dramatic.
I bet
it was a dramatic turn in the story.
I mean, honestly, just as a viewer, I was like, "Ooh, what's going on?"
It was
dramatic, and they like cut to that, and then they like pulled away and did another part, and I'm thinking, get back to the part where they're raiding her house. So like, as a viewer, I can totally see why they included it.
Yeah,
it was good TV.
It was good TV, and the producer, obviously, it's her life, so she knew what would make good TV. Having the ex-wife there being really dramatic in the back seat of a car
suppose you're
across
right.
The street.
Okay, I get why they did it.
I get it. She was used a little bit,
but she jumped right into her role.
She did. She knew what to do, what to say, and how to say it. But yeah, I don't think Amanda's story even lined up from the beginning.
Yeah, you're right. Because like with that lady who tipped the whole thing off, I think it was Lisa, she, like, Amanda had told her in like 2010 that she was sick. And then like in her blog in 2012 is when she was like, oh, I was just diagnosed. Like it wasn't lining up from the get-go.
It did not, Scamanda. Like, does she think people are dumb? Obviously,
clearly,
they are. People are dumb.
They are. No, I don't think they're dumb. I don't think they're dumb.
No, the prayer girl had a really good line, something to the effect of, like, yeah, I probably, if I had looked a little harder, I could have seen this, but I was just so into the narrative of this woman fighting and dying and trying to survive. Like, that was more appealing to her conscious brain.
And I actually kind of love that.
It's cool she's able to admit that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and honestly,
it's true. I guess I would be swept up in that too.
I think I would too. Like if somebody in my life, you know, had a heartbreaking story like this and I could help and support, I would want to. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I would go like right to doubting them. Like, is this true?
Who does?
Are you telling
Only
me?
monsters do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The part that makes me angry, actually lots of it makes me angry, but the part that makes me, actually there are two parts. First of all, like as an educator, the fact that she pulled in like her school family and other teachers and children and parents and stuff, that went deep for me. Like,
you mean at the end when she was the principal?
Yeah. And like she was, because there are little first graders making her cards and praying for her.
Thinking she's going to die.
Thinking she's going to die and their families. And like she just prayed on like the super innocent there. And she was in a position of power and like that that makes me so mad. And then the other part is that she did that to like her like faith community, her church family, who, I mean, talk about looking at somebody, I don't even know, like looking at a community that is already primed to give and help and just preying on that, no pun intended. That makes me mad.
That is really upsetting. I did not like how when she was in the principal position, there was already a woman like who's really dealing with it. And she's like trying to like tack on her own.
Yes.
Who does that?
Who does that? And then they had a fundraiser for
Miss
Cindy. And then, and yes, Mrs. Riley. And then, she gets half of the money that was raised for like this woman who legit had cancer and was dying.
So gross.
So gross. Okay, so does this make you skeptical about helping people in need going forward?
I mean, on a day-to-day basis, over the last couple of years, I avoid panhandlers. My heart used to break every time. I just tend to be super sympathetic. Now, if somebody came up to me from, let's say, the church and said, hey, we're trying to raise money for this person, I probably wouldn't outright be skeptical, but in my own quiet place in my mind, I probably would be, and I may not be quick to give.
Okay.
Especially if it were somebody just like an ancillary person in the community. Okay,
so I actually went to bed last night, like thinking about that. And so I was remembering this very, very pivotal like moment. I was in college and I was with my friend Elizabeth, a good friend of mine from college. And I don't even remember where we were or what we were doing, except we were somewhere in like a big city. It was probably Chicago. I don't know. I don't remember why or the situation, but we were walking along and there was a homeless man on the street asking for money. And I just was like walking right on by and she stopped and like went back and like gave him a couple bucks and then we just kept going. And I remember saying to her, Like, aren't you afraid he's going to use it on alcohol or drugs or whatever?
How old are you at this time?
I was in college.
Okay.
So like 20, 22, like somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her saying something that like will stick with me forever. Because she said, and in like a super non-judgmental way, like she's the least judgmental person I know. So she wasn't like saying this to make me feel bad, but she said something about, well, it was on my heart, like to give to him. Mm-hmm. Like God put that on my heart to give him something. Mm-hmm. And she said, and that's between me and God. Whoa. And she said, and what he does it with it is between him and God. And I have no responsibility for that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was so convicting. And like, she didn't mean it in a convicting, like shame on you, Karen way, like at all.
She was just being honest.
She was being totally honest. And so I've thought about that a lot in similar situations. Like, okay, what I do is not, it shouldn't be contingent on what the outcome is. Mm-hmm. However, like I can see getting scammed and like, that's not right either. And I don't want to contribute to something. And honestly, like if I see somebody who's panhandling, I'm typically a no, but it's more because I'm like, it's more of a safety scared thing. That's it for me.
Oh, like those on the highway.
Yeah. Like
I'm turning.
Like I might like roll down my window and give them a buck or two, but like I wouldn't probably go up to somebody on the street, but it's more because like I'm scared, which also isn't necessarily a good thing. I don't know. Maybe it is. Okay. And so then this is where I couldn't fall asleep last night because I'm laying awake thinking about this. And then I think my tendency would be more, instead of reaching in my pocket and giving somebody, you know, a $5 bill, and I rarely even carry cash. And so I don't even have that, as I would be much more apt to donate online. But that's how all of Scamanda's people got, that's how they got screwed. I mean, they got screwed in cash and stuff too, but like, it feels more legitimate to me if I'm donating to a cause online. I'm donating to something that has a QR code attached to it or whatever. And I mean, I know how to make a QR code too. Like that doesn't necessarily make it legitimate.
No, I stay away from most crowdfunding things. You don't know. There's no way to prove it. What I've been doing lately, for some reason, I've been having a lot of cash on me. And so when I go buy a drink or something at QT or Circle K, and I walk out with change and coins, you know, it's so annoying. I hate coins. But my contribution now to those in need, as ridiculous as this is, I'll just leave the change on like one of those posts or like a lamp post somewhere. I'll just leave it there. Nobody's asking for it. Whoever happens to find it, it was meant to be found. God, I'm just leaving it up to God. And
I like that.
It's something. I feel like I'm helping somebody out and they don't have to go through the embarrassment of asking. I'm hoping it's just kids that just need a little extra change. And
you're probably completely making their day because
I hope so. And my ego's not attached to any of this. I don't care. It's just I'm just trying to do a little something.
That is way more noble than what I do with my pocket change.
What do you do with your pocket change?
I keep it in a little container that I bring to your families to play poker with.
Okay, speaking of that, we need to take a break, but then we need to talk about the poker thing.
What poker thing?
Your experience.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Okay.
So let's talk about, recently, it was Easter.
It was Easter
Sunday.
We played a little poker.
Well, I played a little poker. You played a lot of poker. My first thought is, I have to tell you how cool I think it is that, like, we've reached this dynamic in, like, our friendship and in your relationship with my parents and family members, that you had no problem just hanging out with everybody, even though you
home. Left. I know.
I thought that I was so worried, like when I started to pack up, and I really couldn't be there much longer.
Yeah, you looked really tired.
I was so exhausted, and I'm just, had a lot about the new job starting the next day, and I just really didn't want to ruin your fun because you were really just relaxed and having a good time. So I was so glad that you didn't also feel that you had to leave and start packing up. And
yeah, I was kind of on a winning streak. I mean, okay, and I'll admit I was actually pretty tired too. I'm sure I wasn't as tired as you were, but I was pretty tired. And so there was a little piece of me that was like, oh, maybe I'll go too. But it lasted about 10 seconds because I was like, I have a few more hands in me. Like, I think I want to play a little more poker. And yeah, I didn't hesitate whatsoever.
By the time I had left, you had won a good deal of money.
I did.
Like a good deal.
Well, I mean, we were playing for dimes, like, so it wasn't, so it wasn't millions.
But relatively, like
yes.
it was relative to how much everybody was spending.
That's true.
You
Yeah, I had a
chunk
pretty good stack of poker chips by me.
And the hands you had come up with, even before I left.
Yes, like I had
I know you got a straight flush at one point.
Like I didn't even know that was possible. Well, I knew it was possible, but I had definitely never gotten a straight flush before.
And it was granted with wild cards.
Yes, there were some wilds in there. But still,
the odds are crazy.
And if I do say so myself, like if I can just brag on myself for just a second, like I was pretty proud that I saw what I had and was able to like bet accordingly, because I did not grow up playing poker. Like I know you grew up playing poker. We just played different kinds of games. And so I really have not played poker until I was an adult. And I still need the little cheat sheet out, which we need to come back to that in a second too. So I still like pull up on my phone what the different hands are and like what beats what, because I don't know them all. I don't have them memorized. And so
honestly, I don't either.
Sometimes I might be playing and I don't even really know what I have in front of me, especially if there's wilds involved. And
yeah, and weird other mechanics in the game.
Yes.
There's a lot that you were trying to use your brain for.
Because Jaime's family doesn't just play poker straight up. Like each hand has different things and different wilds and different. It's a lot.
There's a lot.
It's a lot. It's fun.
But you have to think. You have to be on your toes.
You have to think.
And you have to be able to see what's not obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you were able to get some crazy hands. There was one, it must have been a 5-card draw. You didn't draw. I was like ready to like pet your head. I'm like, it's okay. But you smoked.
I totally took everybody's money. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. I also have to acknowledge you. You were at the table with 3 Hawkuses. Actually, I'm just going to say all 3 of them can be pretty aggressive. And honestly, I could sense there was some testiness coming from Virginia and Tony. You handled yourself beautifully.
Did I?
I was ready to step in and defend if I needed to, because I could feel them getting just a little past that politeness wall. But then I was like, you know what? Karen's an adult. We're all adults. She can just fight her own battles.
And I have been around your family enough to kind of get the vibe.
But it'd been a while since we had been around that kind of energy.
Totally. And
so I was nervous for you.
I'm used to playing with your parents, who are also very competitive and,
they're sweet.
But yeah,
and they're fun.
But it was, you're right. There was a little bit of a different vibe. And and there was some definite competition and some.
But the nastiness was coming out, and you became the object, and your phone became the object.
Okay, so
it just felt so.
I know it was funny. I thought it was all pretty funny. So I did have my phone, and all I had pulled up was literally a screenshot that I had taken a long time ago, and I pull the same screenshot up every time we play poker. that just has the hands and Whatya, and that's it.
But to the losers, you were cheating
I was
somehow.
cheating. I was like
You had an
consulting Siri
advantage.
each time. Like, what should I do? I'm like plugging in my cards to ChatGPT or something.
That's not a bad idea.
None of which I was doing. But it was like, yeah, take her phone away. And
So when I left, what was it like then? Did they get meaner?
No, nobody was mean. And nobody was mean.
I guess not, but okay.
Yeah.
In my mind, they crossed some lines, I think. But if you weren't offended,
I was
that's
not
great.
offended. In fact, if anything, I took it as like nobody was being polite because I wasn't a guest.
You're one of the family.
Yeah.
100%.
And that's something that I've always really appreciated about your family. You know, for a long, long, long time, nobody's treated me like a guest. And I love that. So I took it as that, kind of like they wouldn't be ribbing me if I wasn't like part of the family.
I'm so glad you got that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I took it totally fine. But, I mean, I felt it, but no, I was fine with it. But your dad was doing pretty well, and I think maybe I won a hand or two, but not like big pots or anything. And yeah, but then towards the end, like I got a couple like really good hands again. I got another straight flush. And I have to give kudos to your dad on that, because it was one of those like where 14 million things were wild. And at the end, I literally put down my cards and I'm like, I think I have something. And, you know, and although your family's very competitive, they're also they
love to help.
They love to help and they respect the game. And so
they do. They play fair.
And so your dad was the one, oh, look at that. Yep, you have so he helped me find the second straight flush.
Even though it meant he lost.
Even though it meant he lost. So like kudos to your dad for that. But I did get a pretty good pot on that one too. But yeah, I had gotten a couple really good hands there at the end too. And then I just called it. I was like, so sorry to be like to win and run, but I'm going to go.
But you had been there a while.
Yeah, no, I had totally been there a while. And it was, honestly, everybody was kind of winding down.
Yeah.
It was a logical time to stop anyway.
They were probably glad. Like they were done losing.
Yeah. I mean, and Tony and Virginia got up to go too then. So like, it was just kind of a natural ending time. But.
So how did you walk away? Did you count your money?
I did. Okay. So
you had to cash out, I'm sure.
I cashed out. So I'd put in $5. We played with dimes. I put in $5. Mm-hmm. And then I did count. So you had given me $1 for more chips at one point. So I did count that towards my winnings and then I had 2 quarters for the same reason somebody else had given me. So including that $1.50, which I just put in my pocket, I think I walked away. It was over $10.
Wow.
Like 1080 or something like that. So I doubled my money.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's huge.
Thank you. I felt pretty good.
And they're going to want to have a rematch and get their money back.
I know. So this is why I save my money. I save my
all your change.
My coins.
It's wasted on homeless people. Don't waste. This is the moral of the story.
Save it for
poker night.
Family poker night. But no, it was cool. It was fun. And yes, we missed you when you left, obviously, but it was cool too. I agree. I appreciate that about you, your family, your parents, just that. Yeah. Like if you're not there, I'm still part of the family.
I'm glad you exercised that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I won some money in the process. Not too shabby of an Easter.
Jesus rose, and so did your pockets.
So did my bank account. No, that sounds much more dramatic than it was. I walked away with like $5 extra. That's
These
like,
days,
it's
that
a
ain't
coffee.
Nothing. Yeah.
That ain't nothing.
That ain't nothing.
Oh, so there we have it.
I think that's the end of our first episode.
Yeah. Okay. So bringing it back home, Scamanda.
So what'd
you think?
I love people that everyone rallied around this woman. That says a lot. Even if they ended up being duped and tricked, I'm proud of humanity for doing that.
I like that.
Me
too.
I was also, one thing I wanted to mention earlier, and I'll mention it now in my final thoughts. At one point, it was towards the end, Charlie, the podcast woman, when she said, as she was like recounting her conversation with Amanda, she assured Amanda that in telling her story, she was going to do it objectively.
Yes.
And I appreciate that about her. I don't understand how she thought she could. I mean, this woman has made a huge mistake and has really affected people's lives and society in some level. But the fact that she still promised her that she would makes me want to listen to the podcast to see if she did do that, because I don't think this docuseries was unobjective. There's no way she can get out of this looking good. So I don't know is that how it was in the podcast? Was it objective?
Somewhat. I mean, I think I definitely walked away thinking, Scamanda was the bad guy. I mean, even the title of the podcast is like, you're getting scammed by Amanda. But she was pretty neutral. Like, she didn't use harsh words when talking about Amanda. She didn't accuse her. She just kind of presented things factually. The story just kind of told itself. So the story pointed towards, indicting her and making the listener feel a certain way. But yeah, she as the podcast host did not. She didn't push her own thought.
Okay. Then I guess the docuseries was that way. I didn't feel like they were making me try to feel, I don't know. And I just briefly going back in my head, I don't think people were really that harsh or cruel. I didn't sense a lot of emotion in the interviews. So
no, just from Alita. I think Alita you could tell she was really hurt. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't so much financially hurt by the scam as she just was hurt by what they did to her name and her family.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's all 100% relatable. Okay.
All right. That's
but I guess it was objective. It bothered me some of the extras they hired and the weird recreation.
Yeah. Like the one where
hired better actors.
She passed out on the the church floor and she's fainted on the floor. I agree. That was a little okay, a little overproduced.
Yeah. And then the scenes where they were in the church and you could tell they only had 10 people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
know exactly what you're talking about. I agree.
It's not like I would have expected a 100% detailed recreation, but I feel like they just didn't really try that hard. But I don't know. Maybe they did. I don't know. Yeah. I've never made a docuseries. So.
True.
But yeah, some of the extras, it was funny. It was silly.
All right.
Those are my thoughts.
All right. I mean, I echo all of what you said. Same. I do love the story it tells about humanity, even though humanity got duped. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I go back to my original thought. If Amanda was in front of me, I'd want to shake her silly and be like, what the actual heck? And then also hug her because I think she's probably really broken. And the whole skepticism versus giving versus trusting and living by faith and yet also being wise. That's I think just an internal struggle that will continue on for me and for lots, I'm sure. But I think that's my other takeaway is I don't have a good resolution to that for myself. I like when I can watch something and just tie something up neatly in a package and be like, okay, this is the lesson I learned from it. And I don't have that, but I think that's okay. Cause I think that discernment and balance of faith versus, wisdom is kind of an ongoing day-to-day situation by situation thing. So it probably wouldn't be appropriate to be like, this is how I will treat all situations from now on out. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
you're right. Yeah, it did leave me unsettled on that front, and maybe that was one of the points, and maybe the moral of this whole podcast and the miniseries is, yeah, just be careful. It is a battle of faith versus wisdom.
That will continue on until the end of time, probably. So there you go, Scamanda.
There we go, Scamanda.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening to our first episode. Excellent. I think it's going to be our first.
Probably.
We'll probably release this first.
Yeah. We hope you come back and join us for another ride.